Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Praise God. Shabbat shalom to everybody that's here today. Shabbat shalom to those that might be joining us on this, I guess it's a broadcast, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
It's a broadcast.
Yes, it is.
So Shabbat shalom to all those. As we always say, salutations and greetings to the scattered abroad, to the 12 tribes of Israel, whom Yah has scattered. Let me say it better. Whom Yah has scattered. But he will gather. And when he gathers, he's going to be gathering the people who got Yah on their heart, on their mind, on their lips. So greetings to all of those who have joined themselves to this better and more magnificent way through Christ, through Mashiach. I think Yeshua always says to the Yahudim first, to the Jews first, then to the Gentiles, then to the nations. Greetings unto you. So we always say that because that's in our Bible. And people can take it how they want, but it is in your scripture. But last but not least, to the poor, to those who have not, to those who have been ran over, or those who have been forgotten, those that have been beaten down, those have been left behind by their family or by loved ones, those that are incarcerated, those that are homeless, those that are suffering, those that are in trouble. This word is for you. I think we hit a major point last week about Yahshua. Like I didn't come for the righteous. I come for those that are sick. I come for those that need help. So this word is for you. And if we honest with ourselves, word for everybody. There ain't none of us got it all together. We might say it, might want to act like it. We ain't got it all together. So this word is for everybody. So we do not discriminate against melanin or lack thereof, money or lack thereof, or whatever. Because we all trying to get to the same place. We're all trying to get to a place of peace. All right. There's certain peace that surpasses all understanding. And it ain't going to come from man. I don't care what he say. It ain't coming from no man. Ain't no man got that kind of peace. You hear me get up here and start talking about I got that kind of peace. Run. Get up and get out of here. I ain't got it for you. But I know who do. We on that same journey. So, all right, we're going to pick up, we'll be in part 2. Jeremiah, where's that time? Well, Kelly, so start a timer for me, baby. Do something. Okay, thank you. We'll be in part 2, washing up for dinner. All right, steps towards the meal of reconciliation. Okay, steps towards the meal of reconciliation, part 2. And we see that the young man, and he getting a good washing, ain't he? He getting a good washing. But when we think about where all we have been in life, your journey, all right, this is how Messiah got to wash you from all the places we've been. Because we've been in some places that aren't very good. We've been in some places that are not very good. We've been in some places that have left stains on your brain. I'll say it again. We've been in some places that have left stains on your brain. Right? And we have to be washed thoroughly. Outside in and inside out. Turn around, shout about. All right, we got to be washed thoroughly. Okay, and we have to be willing for that washing. Okay. All right. We'll go a quick recap. Last week we talked about acceptance, right, and us accepting, who we are. And we ain't talking about, the things, you want to pat yourself on the back about. We ain't talking about that. Okay? We're talking about that bad and that ugly. Right? We have to accept those things. Right? That you can't get help. Right? Until you know you need help. Okay, so we talked about acceptance last week, right? I am not what I ought to be. I'm not what I want to be. I'm not what I hope to be. But still, I am not what I used to be. By the grace of God, I am what I am. We have to come to the grips, right, of you are who you are. Okay. And Yah ain't done with you. He's not done with you. Okay, he's not done with you. You got to remember that. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, he ain't done with you.
Neighbor, he's not done.
He's not done with you. Ladies in the back, y'all just yell at each other through the walls. He's not done with you. Okay, the second thing we talked about was hope. We talked about hope. Brother, can you give me Romans 15 and start at 15 and 3. Romans 15 and 3. I don't know anybody who don't need hope.
For even if the Messiah did not please himself, but as it has been written, the reproaches of those who reproached you fell upon me.
The reproaches of those that did what?
That reproached you.
They did, and then what happened?
Fell upon me.
They fell on him. So the things that people did to Yah, the transgressions, that same transaction, he said it fell on him. He said it fell on him. Go ahead and read 4, brother.
For whatever was written before was written for our instruction, that through endurance and encouragement of the scriptures we might have the expectation.
We might have the expectation. We might have hope.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the reproaches of them that reproached thee, he said they fell on me. And then in your text, in your scriptures, for whatsoever things are written aforetime, is written for your life. Right? In the comfort and patience of the scriptures, we might have hope. Okay? That is our hope. All right? So our hope comes from above. Our hope is not on earth. Our hope comes from above. And there are many righteous men and righteous women who have been before us, and they wrote certain things, and they left things behind for us that to know that your hope comes from on high. Amen. That you cannot forget. That's where your hope comes from. Now, other nations and other people and other factions, they hope come from something else. They hope might come from their bank account. Okay? They hope might come from a certain king or a certain, they hope might come from their rabbit foot. I don't know. But for the people of Elohim, your hope comes from above. Your hope comes from above. Then we had what? Willingness. Willingness, right? I quoted Coach Tomlin earlier. Don't want hostages. Need volunteers. You gotta be willing. Willing vessel. Gotta have a willing mind. Right? You gotta want to get better. But in order to get better, you gotta know that you got some flaws. Right? And it is not one of those deals where somebody tells you about yourself. You must examine who? Yourself. You. Don't matter what nobody else say to you. No matter what your mama say to you, your daddy, or your cousin, or your husband, your wife, your employer, employee. It don't matter what they say. You have to be able to look at yourself. And you gotta don't be blind when it comes to yourself. When it comes to ourselves, we get blind. My vision, my vision ain't right. Come to somebody else, you 20/20. When it comes to other people, you 20/20. You got that Clark Kent. You pull your glasses down, you looking through walls and stuff. But when it comes to yourself, now I don't see that. You squint, I'm squinting. Now I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't know where you coming from. You're not willing. You are hot. You're not a volunteer. You're not a volunteer for this service. So you gotta be willing. You gotta have some willingness about us. Okay? Right? You gotta climb your mountain now. Don't worry about nobody else's mountain. Don't be looking at somebody else and say, man, look at their mountain looks small. It's small to you. It's huge to them. You got to climb your mountain. You got a backpack, you got rope, you got shoes, you got water, you got everything you need. You just got to go and take the mountain. Have you heard that before?
Yes, sir.
Then some righteous men said, man, get up and go take the mountain. Yeah, but the Anakim is there. The giants is there. The chariots and the iron, and they there. Get up and take the mountain. Worry about something else. Can't be sideline watching. Can't be driving in your car looking out the window and seeing what somebody else on their road. You gotta worry about your road. As the VAR ball say, stay in your lane. You gotta stay in your lane. See how this stuff come back and bite you in the butt though? That's you gotta be careful what you say. So we all gotta climb a mountain. We all got our own journey, and we gotta be willing to go. Because if you sign up, you ain't signing up to lose. You ain't signing up to. You signing up to come across on the other side. You want to be a Hebrew? Okay, great. Cross over. You want to be a Hebrew? Oh, yeah, I'm a Hebrew. Then cross over. Go ahead. Get to climbing. Oh, no. So those are the three things we touched on last week. Now remember, the last thing we said last week is that we were willing. Last we said, not here. We agreed to be willing. Brother, let me get Matthew 5:37. Matthew 5:37.
But let your word be yes.
Uh-huh.
But let your word yes be yes, and your no be no.
So let your
yea be yea, nay be nay. And what goes beyond these is from the wicked one.
So you ain't got to do a lot of explaining and stuff. You in and you out. So last week, we was willing. We talked about acceptance. We knew that Mashiach is the hope. I said, man, look, I got to be willing to let Messiah do with me what need to be done. That's it. What did it say again?
Let your word yes be yes, and your no be no.
And what else?
What goes beyond these is from the wicked one.
Because sometimes a lot of stuff we say, it ain't even necessary. You ever done talked yourself into some mess?
Sure.
You done talked yourself into some mess? You just had to just run in your mouth, and all of a sudden, just let your yea be yea and let your nay be nay.
That's it. Wrap
That's
it up.
it. Okay. So, number 4. Okay, we're on our next 3. Personal inventory. So I had to remind you what we agreed to last week. So personal inventory. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Anybody ever had to do retail work?
Yes.
And you had to do inventory?
Every little page.
How annoying is that? I worked for a little company. It was RGIS. You got to count they bring you in and count their stuff on. Had cut that thing on your hip. You count. Count all that. You got to count everything. Everything. So when it comes to ourselves, there has to be a searching and a fearless. Fearless is underlined and highlighted for you because you can't be scared. But let's read again, brother, Matthew 5:37.
But let your word yes be yes, and your no be no. And what goes beyond these is from the wicked one.
So, time to face the music. You play the music you want to. It's time to face it. Personal inventory. Searching in a fearless moral inventory. Moral inventory of ourselves. We're starting to go somewhere now. Right? Because you've already accepted. You know where your hope is. So I know it's going to be tough. I can't do it on my own. But I know what my hope is, and I'm willing. I'm ready. I'm not hostage. I'm a volunteer. I'm ready. I'm signing up for this. So I'm a hostage to my problems. I'm a hostage to my fear. I'm a hostage to my lust. I'm a hostage to things that will kill me, that will slay me. I'm a hostage to lies. Y'all say, I just want you to be volunteer. I'll do the rest. Don't worry about your armor. I get you straight. I gotta get you to do boot camp first. So there's a moral inventory of ourselves, and I think somebody, Ms. Bell said, you gotta count every little thing. So when it comes to our morality, personal inside, you know what Yahshua wants you to do? We gotta go over every little thing with a fine-tooth comb. You had them little froze, them little afros. You get the combing, and the hair is straight. You get that one little nap. God. You want to cover every nap. See, y'all don't want to count every numbers, know the numbers of hairs on your head. Every single one. We're going to go through every single piece that you carry. But remember, we said it was willing last week. Last thing we ended on. Bro, let me get Psalms 26 and 2. Get Psalms 26 and 2.
Examine me, O Yah, and prove me. Try my kidneys and my heart.
Try my who?
Kidneys.
And my
heart.
Examine me.
Absolutely.
Examine me, huh?
Yes, sir.
Get on that
Please.
table. Get on that table.
That's proclamation.
Get on that table.
I don't like
Lay
it.
down. Lay down. Inventory time. Why your heart like that? Vaughn boy, yes sir. Why your mind like that? Gotta get on that table. Psalms 139, got up here for you. Search me, O Elohim, and know my what? Heart. Try me and know my thoughts. That's even deeper. That's deeper, ain't it? Know my heart and then know my thoughts. Now your thoughts, that's you. That's very personal. Because sometimes people blurt stuff out what they thinking. You know what I'm saying? Think before you speak. But a lot of times, but you don't share all your thoughts, do you? Well, you know what? During this personal inventory, you know what Mr. Yahshua want to do? I want to check out your thought pattern. Open up that door. All the padlocks and stuff on the floor. Jeremy, yes sir. What you got a locks and combination locks and stuff on the door for? Chains and deadbolt stuff. What you all that up there for? Huh? What's all that? He said, I want to know. Huh? I don't know your thoughts. Remember, you a willing vessel now. You signed up for this. You want to have a good meal. I want to have a great meal. I got to do everything I got to do. I got to see the bigger picture. Why do we got to see the bigger picture? Because your Father see the bigger picture. Yeah. Your Redeemer, he shows see the bigger picture. It's some things, I'm pretty sure the conversation with your name in the heavenly realm is like, he's still tripping on that? Give me the report on Vaughn. Well, he's here. They're like, still? All right. Y'all go ahead and start sowing somewhere else. Find me another, in case he don't. The choice is his. Stuck on stupid. Let's turn to Proverbs 17. Proverbs 17 and 3. The fining pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold. But Yah trieth the hearts. And that furnace is hot for that gold now. And that's some good temperature. So now the examples is given on how to refine silver. and how to purify the gold. And last but not least is you and your heart. To the scripture up here, that, hey, search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. You see, he ain't gonna come in like the police now. He ain't gonna FBI like you know, like you on the top 10 wanted list. You just kick your door down. He's still a gentleman. You gotta let him in. Because trust me, whoever you want up in your mind, you let him up in there. We let, say what? Whoever you want in your mind, you let him in there. Folks be creeping. I'm that their era. Folks know, well, my era, know about that booty call late at night. Letting them in. Texting it 2, 3 in the morning. What you doing? What's your goal? And when you see them little dots on their phone, nothing what you doing. So we gotta be willing to have our thoughts examined, right? This can't be you getting beat upside the head and thrown on the table to get your MRI. No, you gotta lay down. You know why you gotta lay down? Because somebody laid down for you. Somebody laid down for you now. So to go to this meal and to commemorate something, you know what I gotta do? I gotta lay down. I gotta lay down. First, my bad. Well, I'm supposed to go to 1 Corinthians 11. I had a slide for that. In my mind, I did. First Corinthians 11 and 23. 1 Corinthians 11 and 23. Let me know when you get there. Hallelujah, whenever you get there. I'm sorry, I do got up in my bad. I'm sorry. I had it on. But if you're still there, that's good. 1 Corinthians 11 and 23 to 29. For I received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahshua that same night in which he was betrayed took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner, he also took the cup when he had supped, saying, This cup is of the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death till he comes. So as often as you do this, you show the Lord's death till he comes. You are rehearsing for something bigger. You're practicing. You're getting up extra shots. Right? Got sisters in here. You learn how to sew and do clothes and stuff. And that first outfit, second outfit, about that third, fourth, fifth, people begging you to make them something. Because you have rehearsed it. And you become well equipped. So there's a specific event that's going to happen. And you won't believe this. Yahshua expects you to be equipped and ready to eat with me. To sit down at the table with me and eat. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily. You just can't just pop up now. All right? Especially for the saints. For the people that are in this way. And you know better. Make a long story, you just know better. Well, some don't know better. Some of us do know better. A lot of us know better. Shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord or the Master. But let a man do what? Examine himself. So you can't be there at the meal talking about, man, I shouldn't, man, your mind is not in the right place. You should do this a long time ago. You gotta prep for this. And so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup, for he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself. This is the bigger picture, not discerning the Lord's body. Because there was a special night a long time ago in a faraway land. And they all had to eat what? Together. They all had a protocol to be together. So on his return, what do you think? We got to be what? Together.
Yes, sir.
Except this time, instead of it being in one centralized location, Goshen. Remember Goshen meant what? Drawing nigh. This time supposed to be all over the world. Could you imagine the ripple effect all over the world? He's gonna come. See, we have to commemorate something in remembrance, the significance, I laid myself down for you, so I gotta lay myself down for him. He ain't asking for much. Hey, Vaughn, the boy, yes sir, clean your closet out. Clean your car out. Clean your trunk out. Clean your mind out. Clean your heart out. Make some space for me in there. Make some space for me. How many thrones is in your heart? How many high places is in your mind? Gotta have a Josiah and say, gotta tear that stuff down. Gotta tear it down. But the bigger picture is not discerning the Lord's body. It's for a bigger picture. It was a big picture that night. Moses, you tell them to find the lamb. On the 10th day, bring it inside the house. Make sure it's close to you. On the 14th, slay it. Kill it. Cook it. Apply the blood on the doorpost. Make sure the blood there. Because I'm going to come through. I got to see it. I got to know that you love me. Because I love you so much. I'm going to cover you and protect you. I'm going to cover you and protect you. So here we are in the 2019. He's still saying the same thing, but this time, things are spirit. Like this fight that we're in, it's not as physical as it once was. It's spiritual. So you have to allow Yah to have that blood to cover you, to cleanse your what? Conscience. There are certain things that blood and bulls and goats can't cover no more. That makes sense. Amen. That makes sense. That protocol is not necessary for today. Because now when we look at this night, it's not just the Pesach, but it's Mashiach. That's why John says the Lamb of God. He could have said the Ram of God. He could have said the Ox of God. Those would have been significant things to say. He said Lamb. He didn't say ox. If you talking about oxes gore their way through, rams, shepherds would have, them rams and oxes would have been there. He said, no, he said lamb. Because the lamb gonna make way for the lion. So when the lion come, you know what he want to see? Blood on your heart. You gotta be under the blood. Jeremiah 17 and 10 up here, I got it for you. I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. So when it comes to the fruit of your doings, if you produce a fruit, we know for sure what kind of tree you are. There won't be no mistaking. Amen. You will not be producing thorns and swear up and down, I'm a fig tree. No, you only got thorns. Like they be talking about in school, research-based, evidence-based. What evidence? All I see is thorns. I don't see no apple tree. That means there's another seed in you. All right, we got to make sure it's important that Yah searches us. We allow Yahshua in, because there might be some seeds that have been put in us. Where there are wheat, there's what? So if the goodman threw some seeds out on you, some good seeds, then you know that knucklehead threw some bad seeds out there too. You know what the book tell you? He said, let what the master say? Let them both grow together. And that's up to you to go get your weed off and go spray for weeds. That's up to you. But he says, I try the reins to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. So the proof in the pudding, as we say. Your hands will tell the story. No matter what your mouth say. No matter like things like potential, that stuff don't even matter no more. That brother should have been. That sister could have been. What did he do? What did she do? So we have to let the light in. Have to let the light in. Let's turn to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians. I mean, y'all have been in the bed and it was early and somebody come and turn that light on. Not a good feeling is sometimes. Dark, you sleep, all of a sudden it's bright, like, man, turn the lights on, turn the lights on. Turn the lights on, man, you tripping. Well, imagine the brightness of it's coming. So we got to be like this man. You got to be in a humble. You got to be in a. You got to bring yourself down and let that light in. Because the light gonna show stuff about yourself that you don't want to see. The light is going to show you things about yourself you do not want to see. I'll tell y'all 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 4, verse 5. 2 Corinthians 4 and 5. For we preach not ourselves, but Yahshua HaMashiach, the Master, and ourselves your servant for Yahshua's sake. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, he commanded light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our what? Hearts.
Hallelujah.
So you got to, look now, look, ain't no getting around it now. You got to let him in. To give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Yahshua HaMashiach. But we have this treasure in what? Earthen vessels. You know, oxymoron? We know that this body is doomed to die. It's destined to go back to dirt. But y'all so good. He said, I'm gonna drop a little. I'm gonna drop a jewel in you. I'm gonna put something in you. And if we, because you gotta work with them. If we work this thing out right, you won't believe what your outcome will be. Verse 7, we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God. And not of who? Us. So I just shake my head. Folks I know swear up and down, you know, I'm a God. I'm a God. That's all right. When them bombs start dropping, be God. When that tornado comes through your city, be God. It sounds cute on Facebook. It sounds cute. It sounds good. But when something really happens, go ahead and be God. I'm going to sit back and watch. I got my popcorn ready. Entertain me. Go ahead and be God. My third eye open. Okay, we'll do something. We said that we're going to go ahead, shake something. Go ahead, do something. Let me see you do something. That's the sad thing, is that people take Yah's patience as him not existing. They take his patience and they're like, look now, you really don't want it. Sometimes I gotta give my kids that look. Like, you don't want that now. Don't make me go there. And that's how Yah is with humans. And humanity is pushing him there. But see, that's what make Yah, it's like, look, man, I could wipe y'all out in like one snap. Look, Thanos ain't got nothing on him. Thanos ain't got nothing on him. He's like, look, y'all don't want that. Now I'm gonna give you time to repent and get right. Some of you ain't, some of you are. But you really don't want me to go there. And people in general, they take Yah's patience as him not even being there, him not even existing. And they say the stuff they say, they do the stuff they do because there's no penalty. That's why you can say, I am God, until you get canceled. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. Always bearing about in the body the dying of the Lord Yahshua, that the life also of Yahshua might be made manifest in our body. Okay, remember, he laid himself down. And then he was risen back up. Right? So we have to go through this process of laying ourselves down. Not being forced down. But coming to the mirror, coming to the point of reflection, looking at ourselves, and laying ourselves down. Because someone got to raise you up. You won't be able to raise yourself up.
Amen.
You won't be able to do it. For which we live, are always living to death for Yahshua's sake, that the life also of Yahshua might be made manifest in our own mortal flesh. So then, death worketh in us, but life in you. So yeah, the shell you're walking in will fade away. But there's something in this earthen vessel that is the power of Elohim. And if you play your cards right, you'll win. It ain't got nothing to do with you. You'll win. Verse 13, we having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believed, and therefore have I spoken. We also believe, and therefore speak, knowing that he which raised up the Lord Yahshua shall raise up us also by Yahshua, and shall present us with you. This is why we had to get clarity on the hope, on who the hope is. Okay? So the end game is for you to be risen up. You're going to be risen up by him, through him. Because he was risen up by the Father.
Amen.
He had to lay himself down and have faith that he would raise him up. So what do we got to do? We got to lay ourselves down and have faith that he will raise us up. In the meantime, you are a priest. You're a royal priest. And you're doing sacrifices daily. He ain't worried about your good qualities. It's the other qualities. Are you willing to work? Are you willing to dig? And you can't work on nothing you don't even know. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. And that ain't me. That ain't me. Oh, that's you. That's you. But that's the part of this personal inventory. Okay. So we got to let the light in. Somebody read out. We read Revelation 3 and 20. Somebody give Revelation 3 and 20.
I got it.
Revelation 3 and 20.
Revelation 3 and 20. Behold, I stand at the door and knock.
I do what?
I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and dine with him, and he with me.
Say again, he said he's standing at the door and he's doing what?
Knocking.
And you got to do what?
Let him in.
But before you let him in, you got to be able to
Hear the voice.
You got to be able to hear.
And open the door.
So he's knocking at the door, and you won't believe this. Hey, it's hard to hear with your earphones on.
Uh-oh.
How you gonna hear? It's hard to hear that TV up too loud. How you gonna hear? So that's just personal, just examples that we can relate to. But it's hard to hear with the noise of the world. Okay. So he's knocking at the door, but the noise of the world. So you got to be able to hone in. It's something that you, once again, you're willing, you volunteered for this. So you're able to hear Because you up, listen, you're up ready. Watching and waiting. That's what I really want to say. Thank you. You're watching and waiting. So regardless of all the outside noise, you hear. What do you hear? Rita, what do you hear?
I'm sorry.
You're all right.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone hears
my voice
and opens the door. Yes.
So you got to open the door.
Amen.
Now, he didn't say, I'm like the laws, I'm kick the door down. He didn't say it was Delta Force. He didn't say it was Green Berets. He said, no, you got to open the door now. So you got to be ready. You got to be listening. You got to get your butt up off that couch or bed or whatever you want and open the door.
Amen.
Then, what are you going to do?
I will come in to him and dine with him.
So we're going to eat.
Yes, sir.
So he got something that's going to be good for me on the inside. It's going to be good for me. It's going to help me get strong. Help me to grow. So I can't be a baby forever.
Amen.
I can't be a child forever. I can't be going around the mountain the same thing forever. There are places that we got to go. There are certain things that you can't reach this level because you ain't grown in that aspect yet. Thank you. Feeling Rita. She did good. I like her too. I ain't got no fear. You're feeding really too. So number 5 now, self-disclosure. Self-disclosure. And as we go through these, I know we're going over a lot of stuff, but just write down the main theme and then just come back and fill in later or things that kind of come to your mind. But now we're on self-disclosure. So admit it to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. So you've done your personal inventory. You went through. You and Yahshua. Or you and one of his divine servants came. I had a dream a long time ago. And I was obviously attending service, and I might have been preaching there, I'm not for sure, but I had a dream I'll never forget. Me and this guy, this little dude. I say little dude, he's even shorter than me, who was walking around this huge place. And in my mind, I just correlated to a arena because I obviously got out of coaching. He's walking around and he's showing me this place. And I knew it was mine. I knew it was mine. He didn't say nothing. We just walking around. It's huge. It's nice. It's big. I'm just like, yeah, okay, I don't see no weight room. I don't see no court though. But this is nice. This is, and he ain't saying no word. Just walking around and showing me around. We just walking around. And there were certain areas of this huge place that was dark as night. And you know what? I didn't want to go over there. So when I'm sitting there talking about this stuff, I ain't worried about you. I got my own grits to cook. And I don't even like grits. Do I like grits? I don't even like grits. I really don't know what grits is. Grits rice. What is it? I know what grits are. But point being,
They're gritty.
Okay, we've established.
Nobody like grits. And look, if I'm like, I'm from the side, but I ain't that part of the side. I'm from the side, but I ain't that part of the side. But in that dream, and it took me years to realize that was my temple. That was me. He was showing me around. Now I'm doing all the talking. What the brother reader, man, let your yay be. Y'all be doing a lot of extra talking. I'm in the dream, just running my mouth. Let your yay be yay and your nay be nay. But we learn. Y'all give us stuff. You got to keep it. You hang on to it. Chew on it. You get older, then you say, oh, that's what he meant. Okay. The dark places in that big place, oh, that was me. Now I was too chicken pooped to go over there. I didn't say it. I was too chicken to go over there. And we had nothing to do with it. I didn't want the light to shine on that. Because then I see. And then when you see, you know what? You know.
You are aware of your sin, so you better come out with that. That's it, for real.
And I don't want to know.
Glory.
Too heavy for me. I don't want to know. You know what Yahshua like? Well, you gotta know. We all gotta know.
That's right.
We all gotta know. We all got a one-on-one with him. So admit it to God, to ourselves, to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. Not they wrongs. This ain't got nothing to do with, well, you know, so-and-so hurt me. So-and-so did this to me. No facts. But that's not, it's between you and him. Between you and him. So this self-disclosure follows the personal inventory. And in the personal inventory, you found some things, you counted some things, you're like, whoa, these numbers are wow. You do your personal inventory, man, I'm a jerk. I'm a jerk. God, I'm selfish. I'm beyond selfish. I'm a scared little cat. I'm scared. I'm not faithful. I'm fearful. I'm a rolling ball of fear at a high speed. So you have to admit things. Because you went through a personal inventory with someone divine. They ain't gonna let you slide. There ain't no slide. The exact nature, whether it's things that you purposely practice or rehearse or things that's in that subconscious, deep in your unconscious, it's in your nature. And it's got to be addressed in your conscious, in your subconscious, and your unconscious. The key word is your. We can never get away from the mirror. Okay? The mirror. So self-disclosure. Got to really let some things out. You know, like pouring. Got to pour stuff out. When certain water systems and dams is too much, got to get it out. So this is a great time to have a release. Because you're being what? When you're being honest, right? We got to let things out. We got to pour it out. Okay? How to overcome emotional pain. Pouring out your what? Heart. So you asked, you said, hey, personal inventory of my what? Heart. My thoughts. So when these things have been found within thee, we must what? Pour it out. Get rid of it. And you've lived, how old am I? 38, look, Kelly, 38 years, and this has been in you and you're comfortable. You move well with this cast. I move well with these crutches.
Come on, boy.
Like, no, you got to get rid of that. That's a handicap.
Yes, sir.
And you're not handicapped. So you got to pour it out. Trust in him at all times. Ye people do what? Pour out your heart. Before who? Him. God is a refuge for us. He's a refuge for us. You got to pour it out before him. Brother, let me get Jeremiah 17:9. I done got better in my notes. I just put Rita out the side. So if I just yell, Rita!
The heart is crooked.
The what?
The heart. Above all and desperately sick. Who shall know it? I, Yah, search the heart. I tried the kidneys and give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his deeds.
The fruit of his what?
Deeds.
So, we accept certain things about ourselves as we're getting ready for dinner. We accept certain things. And we ain't talking about the stuff that you're good at. We ain't worried about that right now. We're talking about the weaknesses in your game. the weaknesses in your life. Things that keep you from being great in Yah. Not you just being great. You being great in Him. So to be great in Him, I got to become very what? Low of myself. There's a balance. But we know that Yah don't have fake, false balances. Correct. That's in the Torah, right? It's just balance. Yes, so in order for Him to be heavy and the kavod on one side, it means I got to minimalize myself on the other side. Yes, they're good. Find it. Let me find it. When you find it, we'll read it. So we got our acceptance, and we understand about the hope. He's the hope. We're willing. We're ready for Him to do what He got to do. We haven't had the personal inventory, and then we get the report back, and we're looking at the data. We're looking at the data of all the stuff, and we got to get rid of some things, because y'all sure like, look, you done let me in now. And we read Revelation 3:20, say, hey, I stood, I knocked. You was listening. You let me in. You was ready to let me in. Now I done came in. And now this stuff ain't right. And then now we have to pour it out. Because I ain't gonna be here with all this mess. You know, if you ever been on your own, I give you an example. When I was getting ready to graduate, my mama came down to Texas. And me and my roommate, we had our apartment, hot mess. But she was like, we're going to come stay with you. Oh, okay. We got bottles out, everything we've drunk. We keep bottles up of soap, souvenirs. We got a diagram of beer cans and 80s babies know what guts mean. Got the guts all over here. You know, got a gut jar and all. So clean the house. I mean, the apartment, just cleaned it up all the way. Cause like my mama coming. Well, what about when Yahshua come into your heart? When Yahshua come into your heart. So now you have to pour things out of your heart. Look, before Him. He's like, look, in old times, when I would come down in that camp. Take that outside. Now I'm giving you a chance. I'm coming. Because remember, there's some things that Yah said. He says, I will what? I will what? I will dwell with you. We got to be in order. I will walk with you.
I will be your God.
I will be your God.
And I will abide you in me.
And I will be in you. And that me being in you, that's a whole other level. So I'll come in and I'll move in there. I'll come in there. But this stuff got to go. So in the scriptures, they're already telling you, hey, you got to pour out your heart. You got to pour it out.
That's scripture.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Well, we'll start at John 3:27.
John 3:27.
John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it given him from heaven. Ye yourselves bear me witness that I said, I am not the Christ, but that I am sent before him. He that hath the bride is the bridegroom, but the friend of the bridegroom which standeth and heareth him rejoiceth greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This my joy therefore is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease.
Amen. Amen. It must be. Got to be that way. Romans 7. Romans 7 being verse 15. Romans 7 verse 15, and it reads, for that which I do I allow not, for what I would that do I not, but what I hate that I do. So we got to do that with ourselves. Because you got to pour stuff out. Well, you got to know what to pour out. Some people, they come into the walk and they throw, what's they saying? They throw the baby out with the bathwater. If then I do that which I would not, I consent to the Torah that is good. Now there is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Okay? So I got to pour things out. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. Right? That's why the whole 2 Corinthians is about you being an earthen vessel. There's a power within thee. And if you hang on and play your cards right, that power will be exposed. It will manifest. For I know that in me that is in my flesh was no good thing, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do.
Come on.
See how crazy we are?
Yeah.
See how crazy we are? The battle of you being in this body. The battle of what Adam did. The battle of what happened at the Tower of Babel. Woo. That's why we got to understand the bigger picture. We was talking about that, examine yourself. When you do things unworthily, when it comes to this dinner, we getting ready for that, you are not discerning of the Lord's body. Because there are many members. It's being a great teammate. Okay, well, kind of look when I was coaching stuff. You know what you gotta do? We know we be in that circle and got through praying and stuff. We done did our little war chant and look to the man next to you. Fight for him. Look to the person over here. Fight for him. Look to the person straight across. Fight for him. Well, the thing about the body of Christ. Because you're at war. How do you know? Around this time of year, he said, Moses, go tell Pharaoh to let my army go, that they may worship me. He said army. So you a soldier. Once again, you volunteer now. The willingness. So we know where their hearts was and things was written aforetime. Their heart was still in where? Egypt. I was more comfortable with my crutches. I saw better with my glasses. I ain't talking about nobody that wear glasses. I got glasses too. But I'm just saying, I was more comfortable with something to help me do something, as opposed to me just being able to do it on my own. I don't know why I stopped that. 21 maybe. I find in the law that when I would do good, evil is present with me, for I delight in the law of God after the inward man. So there's something that we're building up something on the inside. But I see another law in my members war against the law of my mind. Remember, you said, Yah, search my heart and my thoughts. And bringing me into captivity of the law of sin, which is in my members. So your mind will take you somewhere. Your brain will chain you up and take you somewhere. O wretched man that I am. Who shall deliver me from the body of this death? So remember, we know we got to keep the mind on the whole. Look, verse 25 says, I thank God through Yahshua HaMashiach our Lord. Why? So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of Elohim, with the flesh, the law of sin. Got to pour out now. Look. You just got to keep it real. You know how expensive it is to keep it real? You know how much money it costs? Nothing. Just like when you got to pay attention. You know what your bill going to say to pay attention? Nothing. But paying attention be the hardest thing sometimes. So it only costs 0.00 to keep it real. Matthew 26 chapter. Matthew 26, we'll start verse 1. The self-disclosure. Now we got to be able to admit to God, to ourselves, to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. We got to get it out. Got to get it out. Matthew 26 and 1. And it came to pass when Yahshua had finished all these things, he said to his disciples, "You know that after 2 days is the feast of Passover. The Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified." Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people who unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yahshua by subtlety and kill him. But they said, not on the feast day, lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Yahshua was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it, and poured it, and poured it, and poured it on his head, as he sat at meat. When the disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? Now look, when you pouring stuff out of yourself, somebody else might be looking at me getting upset. Somebody else might be looking and saying, you done lost your mind. Somebody else be looking at you and not have an understanding, but you got to pour it out. Because you went to your personal inventory.
Amen.
You got to get rid of all of it.
Okay.
Verse 9, for this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Yahshua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For you have the poor always with you, but me you not have always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her. You have to pour out things from within. It's very valuable. Our youngest son, he's silly, if you didn't know. He said something the other day. We was outside, and he said, like, how much am I worth? Am I worth $1,000? Kids, they don't get, and he was like, no, and Kelly said, you're priceless. She's like, now that means like, you like, there's no number to place on you. She had to explain to him what that meant. And that when we pour out, it's so valuable. It's priceless, but you're pouring out for a reason. You're making space for somebody. You ever had a baby? And in your house, and you didn't move, you stayed in the house. When you had your baby, you know what you had to do? You had to make room for the baby. Very valuable. You got to make space. So when it comes to someone knocking at the door, and you heard it, you got your butt up, you open the door, you let them in, I got to make space. Because he said, I will be in you.
Yeah.
Now, I ain't gonna just come in and just be a flyby thing. No, I'm gonna be there with you.
Oh, yeah.
So we got to make space for him. So we have to trade off. I got to trade off my way for Yah's way. Got to make a trade off. I got to trade off my way for his. Brother, give me Matthew 11, 28 and 30. Matthew 11, 28 and 30.
Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I shall give you rest. Take my yoke upon you.
Do what now?
Take my yoke.
So we got to take something from him. He's offering us something. Go ahead.
Upon you and learn from me, for I am weak and humble in heart, and you shall find rest for your beings. For my yoke is gentle and my burden is light.
So we have to trade off with him. Look here, I got something better for you. I got an easier way for you. I got an easier way for you. So here's an example. We have all traded off our time for Shabbat. Somebody was talking about that this morning. We have traded off the things we used to do on Saturday or Shabbat, or from Friday night to Saturday night. We traded it off. We dropped it off. And we picked up something that was easier and lighter. And it made rest for our souls. So we've traded off on that, but there's more. There was a personal inventory, and there was a long list. You gotta pour it out. You gotta get rid of it. All of it out. Okay. Now for the example, we just put that in your notes, Hebrews 4, 8 through 11. Okay. Now Yahshua says something in Matthew 26. He talked about his burial. Okay. Burial. Now, in old times, things, let me see. Stay right there. It says, for she has poured this ointment on my body. She did it for my burial. Okay. Now, the altar is where things go to get destroyed. The altar is where things go to be destroyed. Can somebody give me Somebody give me Leviticus 1 through 9. Brother, give me Leviticus 1 through 9. Then can somebody else give me John 10:9. Leviticus 1 through 9. And then can somebody, I think brother got Leviticus 1, and somebody give me John 10 and 9.
And Yah called to Moshe and spoke to him from the tent of appointment, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when any one of you brings an offering to Yah, you bring your offering of the livestock, and of the herd or of the flock. And if his offering is an ascending offering of the herd, let him bring a male, a perfect one. Let him bring it at the door.
At the what?
At the door.
All right, stop right there. Somebody give me John 10 and 9. Whoever got John 10 and 9. We're going to pick right back up with you, though, brother. But pause right there. Let me get John 10 and 9.
John 10 and 9, I am the door.
I am the what?
Door.
I am the what?
Door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved, and will go in and out and find pasture.
Brother, go back about a few words and then pick right back up. Go ahead.
If his offering is an ascending offering of the herd, let him bring a male, a perfect one. Let him bring it at the door.
At the what?
The door.
Okay. Keep on reading.
Of the tent of appointment for his acceptance before Yah. And he shall lay his hand on the head.
He shall do what?
He shall lay his hand on the head of the ascending offering, and it shall be accepted on his behalf to make atonement for him. And he shall slay the bull before Yah, and the sons of Aharon, the priests, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood all around the slaughter place, which is at the door of the tent of appointment.
Which is at the what?
The door.
You had to do something with the blood too, didn't you?
Sprinkle it.
Somebody, brother, go ahead and give me right quick Leviticus 11, 9 and 9. I know it's in our Torah portion, Leviticus 11, 9 and 9. Because part of this self-disclosure that we got to pour out, right? Yeah, Leviticus 9 and
And
9.
the sons of Aharon brought the blood to him,
brought the blood.
and he dipped his finger in the blood.
He dipped it.
And put it on the horns of the slaughter place, and poured the blood at the base of
He
the
did
slaughter
what?
place. Poured the blood at the base of the slaughter place.
Did he just sprinkle the blood on the base?
He poured it.
He poured it all out.
Yeah.
Oh. So when it comes to you in your own house, you do got to pour out. You got to pour it all out now. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Somebody, brother, give me Exodus 27, 1 through 2. Because she broke the alabaster.
And you shall make a slaughter place of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The slaughter place is square, and its height 3 cubits. And you shall make its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns are of the same, and you shall overlay it with bronze.
That's right. Overlay with what?
Bronze.
Okay.
And you shall make its pots to receive its ashes, and its shovels, and its basins, and its forks, and its fire holders. Make all its utensils of bronze. And you shall make a grafting for it.
You can just stop it too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
That's good. No, that's good. So the altar is made of what?
Bronze.
Bronze. And he said that she came to him, she broke the box, poured it all out. Now we just looked at the door being before the altar. In John 10:9, what did he say he was?
The door.
He was the door. Somebody give me Revelation 1 and 5, and somebody else give me Revelation 2:18. 1:15 Revelation, and then 2:18 Revelation. The altar was brass, right? And before you get to the altar, you had to go through the door.
Or did you do 15, I'll do 18.
Okay. 15.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 115.
Revelation 1:15.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
Unto fine what?
Unto fine brass.
Brass.
As if they burnt in a furnace.
Burnt in a furnace. What one time about now? Is this same one? Didn't he call himself the door? And then in old times, Moses, you tell him to come to the door of the tabernacle. And then whatever they have, whatever offering they have, take it to the altar. May it be burned. Now, we know what the outside look like of the altar. It's brass. But I'm just curious that the inside of the altar was burnt brass. Is there anything left 115?
And his voice as the sound of many waters.
Revelation 2:18.
Revelation 2:18. Unto the angel of the church in Thyatira, write these things, saith the Son of God, who hath his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass.
Feet like what?
Fine brass.
Brother, what'd you say that altar was made out of again?
Bronze.
So she poured the box out on him, and we obviously get the aspect of him getting ready for burial, but we see her breaking the box at the altar. Trust me, you got a box. You got to break your box at the altar. Nothing wrong with you being this woman now. Because you know what he said about this woman? And said, as far as this gospel goes, there'll be a memorial about her this day. And here we are, 2019. Do we have the courage to be like this woman and break your box at the altar? Brother, give me Leviticus 6 and 13. And then can somebody give me Hebrews 12 and 29? But we'll do Leviticus first. Leviticus first.
Fire is continually burning on the slaughter place.
Is the fire's doing what?
Continually burning on the slaughter
What does
place.
continue mean? Does that mean give it a break?
No.
No.
Let it cease for a couple months?
No.
Let it go? Well, continue.
Never goes out.
It never goes out. Let me get Hebrews 12, 29. Whoever got it.
Okay. Hebrews 12 and 29.
Mm-hmm.
For our God is a consuming fire.
Is it consuming what?
Fire.
I wonder if this fire go out.
Never.
So he told Moses, man, hey, look, the stuff I tell you up in this mountain, don't you forget the pattern now. Make everything according to what I told you in this mountain. I'm paraphrasing. But don't do nothing. So if Yah is a consuming fire, and the fire on the altar never goes out, and then we see Yahshua, I think Mama Bev described Yahshua as having the eyes of fire, feet like brass. Do you see the altar? Do you see the altar?
Amen.
And then the brother read in Matthew 11 that he said to what? He said, come unto me. But look, he said, Moses, tell him to come to the door.
Amen.
See, it's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's in the book now. I don't got it written down. Proverbs 25 and 2. The glory of Yah is to conceal a matter, but it's the honor of kings to search it out. Everybody's screaming, I'm the king. I mean, well, search out Yah's ways then. Raggedy. All right, last part for today. Reflection. You didn't have your personal inventory. Tell your mama, I love Moses, son. I love him. No fear. He comes with his own skin. That's all right. Reflection. We've had our personal inventory. All right. You were willing to let Yahshua come in. Y'all did a number count. Silvana, yes, sir. This is terrible. Self-disclosure. Got to get rid of some stuff. How much stuff we got to get rid of? All of it. Well, how do I get rid of it? Pour it out. Well, pour it out where? On me. What was it? Romans 15 and 3 again? We always say Romans 15 and 4. Don't forget Romans 15 and 3. We always talk about Romans 15 and 4. Romans 15 and 3. Go ahead, brother.
For even the Messiah did not please himself.
That's right.
But as it has been written, the reproaches of those who reproached you fell upon
It fell
me.
on him. Huh? So he's made for this. And he's made for you. He's made for you to pour out on him. He is made for you to pour out on him. And then once you pour out, once you drop off or drop the weights that beset you, that keep you from running your race, you don't believe when things go on the altar, when they go up, it's a sweet savor. But you got to be able to admit some things. You got to be willing to go through your closet. You got to be willing to go up in the attic. So, number 6, reflection. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects from our character, or defects of character. I added in. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. We used to have a saying, we used to tell our young men, look, we need guys with character and not characters. We need, look, y'all need people with good character and not characters. One way you act this way, one day you act this way, we're just all over the round. Look, we don't need Denzel. We don't need Denzel coming up here and playing on He Got Game, and then next day he training day, and then next day is glory, and look. Need you to be the best you. So you gotta have that personal inventory. But you volunteered for it now. You remember what you said last week now? Go back to that, right? Go back to the mirror. All right? Don't want to face ourselves. Then we start looking. We act one way, and the mirror showing on. This is you. Then we get to a point. So, man, I'm ready. I'm ready. I got a look of determination. I'm ready. What you ready for? I'm ready for God to remove all the defects of my character. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm zoned in. Do what you got to do. Ezekiel 11.